And here they are. Of course, going first is a great feeling for the deck. You really want to set up your rank for XYZs. So let's see if he will be able to do so. Marta being the best card in the deck by far. And multiple ways to access it. He's also playing a small Magistus package. And okay, Prosperity is a great way to start things off here. Let's see if he will actually go for 6. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and I think one of the key point of the deck is the consistency, basically, on which he relies a lot.
Absolutely, and here we see some cards being shown. His opponent already obviously understanding what he's up against. João definitely looking for other options, but depending what he has in his hand, he can still access the rank 4 play.
And I think here, once again, what might be also very relevant is if Ruben knows well how to play against Exosister, which might not be, you know...
yeah, here Stella is coming down, and as mentioned, you need another monster, and luckily for João, he had it, so he will be able to advance with this plays, and now he gets to summon Alice, and this is good enough to me.
Yeah, this is already enough. Usually one you really want to go for is the Exosister Michaelis, and then of course the best XYZ monster is the Exosister Magnifica if you really tries and capitalize on it. But here we see the Exosister Caspitel.
Yeah, instead he goes for Caspitel. Great option, of course, once again. And now he goes finally to get this Marta out, the key card of the deck as mentioned. It does so much alone as it gets you Alice from the deck, and then you advance your plays even further. So really, really strong card. Now we'll probably get to see the Michaelis you were talking about.
Yeah, and this is a very good start from João. Honestly, yeah, this is what the deck does.
Now you go and search either Returnia, let's see what he's playing, or Vadis. Great start.
Yeah.
He goes for Returnia, I think.
Yeah.
So this is a great start. Yep. The only, I guess, weak point of the deck is that it's sometimes brick, or it can be not as powerful against other matchups, but in this case it's really, really strong. And what an opening it is now going into the Magnifica as well, so all it takes to beat the deck is there. Let's see if Ruben will find a way to fight back. And to be fair, he does have a few main deck tools of his own. If we take a look at this deck list to just highlight some of what he's playing. Probably talent would be one of the best way to do it, because you then try to take it and make a Zeus with it, but
I think that's the one.
Yeah, if you don't have it, the rest of this deck is really straightforward. I see a Perlerino, I think, in hand. Okay, so we do see the start, and it will be activated. So Magnamoth being able to search then another Bestials. Probably gonna be the Boldrake. New addition of the deck, as mentioned. Great tool, definitely much better than the Saronir in most decks, as it allows you to banish special summoned monsters.
Let's see how now Ruben faces this Magnifica from João. He also knows he has a Returnia, most likely being set. Yeah, here goes with the Perlerino.
As expected.
Yeah, I think João is considering whether to activate the Michaelis. The Magnifica.
The Magnifica and then get the Michaelis. Let's see. He's gonna banish the Perlerino right away here. And we do see the talent. Wow, this is huge. Huge talent here, only playing 2 copies and definitely getting a little lucky here to see it in the end. But
yeah, because basically now you force João into activating the Michaelis, and then yeah, he activates the return as well.
João going all in here for the Returnia.
Yeah.
But yeah, this will not be that great. As mentioned, he loses control of it, and this is a nightmare for you Exosister fans watching at home.
I think this was basically the best star Ruben might have asked for, because he had a Beastle and now he also has access to Beldrake. Okay, also, wow.
Yeah, it's great, great stuff here. Unfortunately, I really think we mentioned it in game 1 especially. You don't see a lot of these cars being mained. It was only 2 copies of the talent for Ruben, and he picked it up. So when you do that, now you can even OTK easily. So
yeah, because now I think he also needs maybe some other 2 pieces maybe on the field, and then
he really doesn't need much. And I think this could be over in just a blink of an eye. To be fair, we have seen multiple duelists run cars like Impermanence, Super Polymerizations, but Ruben just going for the straightforward approach and getting rewarded by picking up. And yeah, well, these are also
wow.
Yeah, these are insane mills thanks to the Tearlaments, Kashtira and Kikalos. He even gets to mill 5 cards from the top of both player decks and go for another fusion summon. Not that he needs much. He already has pretty much locked in enough damage to close this game 1.
Yeah, because basically now he milled a lot of cards, and he just doesn't need that much to seal this game.
We see milled one of the tech cards in João deck, which is the Zoroa Magistus, essentially a 1-card rank 4, which is quite nice, I would say, as another option to start for the deck, to just fetch, get the Marta. But at the moment, it's not gonna be enough. And to be fair, these duelists are both undefeated at the moment, 4-0, which is already a great accomplishment, the start of the day. As we mentioned already, the goal is to have 2 losses and 1 draw. That should be enough to guarantee a spot in the top 64 tomorrow. So for now, looking great.
Yeah, now I think Ruben is realizing that he doesn't really need that much to seal it. Because yeah, he goes for the Shayreen and Ifianer battle phase. Yeah.
To be fair, it could have even switched the Magnifica, which I don't understand why you wouldn't, but yeah. This is enough, and as mentioned, in the end, the Triple Tactics talent was enough to seal this game 1, which goes to Ruben. What a start already. As we mentioned, João did win the die roll, and it seems as if his opening was solid with the Magnifica plus the Returnia face down, but in the end he fell off short to Triple Tactics talent. Yep. We have mentioned how good of a card that has been in the past few months, and now it even has a brother in the forms of Triple Tactics Trust, which is another card that has been really popular this weekend, although just released in Photon Hypernova. But now let's take a quick look at the side decks. João definitely gonna go first again, and to be fair, usually he doesn't need to side that much, but tell us something about it.
He has a couple of interesting choices. He plays the Appointer of the Red Lotus, which will go in, and alongside also the Solemn Judgments. So going first these are very solid. Also has a couple of interesting options if going second. We'll talk about that if
yeah,
we
if
will
it
be
comes
seeing
up.
game 3.
To be fair, it's interesting to see a pointer. You usually see that in more aggressive decks, but it's working out for him, I guess, so might as well. And on the other end, of course, it is Ruben who will adapt. What can he actually bring in for this matchup?
Yeah, there's a triple tactic thrust. I think might help him, you know, getting the talent. So that is a good one. Also, the RP's Feather Duster just to clean and force your opponent to activate the trap cards as well. I mean, rather than that, Twin Twister, I mean, it's...
There are a few. I mean,
okay.
I think Book of Eclipse, it's again a card that could be really useful. Just because even if Magnifica swaps out, it still resolves on whatever is brought out. And there are also weekends from the deck where they just summon a monster, which is good enough against Tearlaments, because as mentioned, they most of the time are forced to activate a grave effect. But with Book of Eclipse, I feel like it's a solid choice, which is obviously there mostly for Kashtira. It's one of the most popular cards in the side deck for Kashtira, but I think it sees its application here. Regardless, our duelists are ready, so let's go to the table for game 2. And here they are again. It's gonna be João starting things off, obviously looking for Dimension Shifter above all cards. He is not playing the Inscription. I guess it makes sense in this deck because technically every card is a shifter kind of card. You don't want to shut your own Exosisters with the Inscription. But now he starts things off again with the Prosperity, and unless he's gonna chain the shifter to his own cards, this is good news in a way for Ruben. And yeah,
looks like he doesn't.
He doesn't, so there is the shifter, a little late to the party, but he gets whatever he wants here. Solemn Judgment, as mentioned, solid card.
Yeah, he has quite a few options here.
Yeah, he picks the Marta. No-brainer, really. Marta, again, solid opening card, the key card in the deck, which allows you alone to go for the opening we've seen in the last game.
Yeah, I think we might be seeing something very similar. That was what we saw in game 1. It depends if Ruben maybe has, for example, an Ovinis, I don't know. Let's see. Looks like he doesn't. Yeah, I think he can go for the lineup he had also in game 1, just taking either the Returnia. Depends on his end or the Vedis.
Yeah. Just gonna show his opponent a quick translation. Want to make sure you know all of these effects. And although Exosister has been played a bit, it's not the most popular option, I would say. And here instead goes for the Caspitel once again, maybe as another play, but the Abnis comes down. Let's see if it's something. Oof, big whiff here by Ruben. This could have changed the game entirely. Instead, the talent was and would have been the 6th card, so this Abnis maybe is gonna cost him the game actually.
Yeah, with this Mills, unfortunately for him, he doesn't really pick up anything. And again, I think from João this side, maybe it might work well, especially because Ruben lost one of his 2 copies of Triple Tactic Talent.
Yeah. Did he get the Sophia, I think?
So. Or maybe this...
Yeah, I think he's gonna go Stella plus Sophia now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes, so Stella and Sophia, and again, same thing as the previous game. He's gonna go Michaelis, get the Returnia, and then go for Magnifica. So, solid opening. One less talent to worry about, I guess. So that's a good sign. And also the orange is a green meal.
Yeah.
Because Herald of the Orange Light, of course, limited, but a huge card against a deck like this. And it's great news when you see it in the graveyard.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it at the moment. So, ooh, wow.
Nice one. And now we get to see this Avnis being a huge punish because not only did it whiff completely, but it also made triple tactic thrust live for the Portuguese player. And now let's see the target, because it's interesting. Okay, so here again is one of the reasons why he's playing the Appointed of the Red Lotus, is because you can search it with the thrust and makes it so that even though Red Lotus is limited, you can just use it like this. And you see, this is coming to the party, so...
And this is definitely a very good start from João, because he will get the chance to see his opponent's hand, and playing with the Magnifica and as well the Returnia Appointer. Wow, 3-set card.
Yeah.
Very good stuff from him.
Absolutely better. Let's see if he will just shotgun it, and he does. So Appointed of the Red Lotus, again, not the most straightforward pick, I would say, for the Exosister deck, but it's most likely gonna work here. Gets to see the end. Wow. 3 copies of Avnis were in the end for Ruben. And now, I mean, he just needs to get rid of the Rhino if he feels like that's the choice, and he's left with nothing except from Merly and Prey. Yeah, and I think that's gonna be the play. Just gonna go for Merly, milling Merly. But this is impossible. So I think he's gonna have really good chance of staying in this. The question is, will he be able to win on the next turn? I think regardless, with though many Avnis, it's not that great. And as you can see here, Returnia is activated just to banish the Merly in the graveyard.
And looks like Ruben is left with no other options at all.
Yeah, he ends his turn, gets back the Rhino Heart, and now play is back to João.
Okay, also at the Vadis.
Okay,
very good.
Now
one.
it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because he goes for the Vadis again, and this is huge.
And now he goes Sophia into another Monster Irene, and
this is huge.
Yeah.
I was worried about it having just the one Returnia face down, but now that he also shows the Vadis, this is a huge, huge opening.
Because now I think he could also might be considering pushing. I don't think he can seal the game now. But given the situation, I think that it is very scary for Ruben, because he has Avnis in hand, but that might be very hard.
And he goes for an XYZ again. Another Michaelis, it seems. And yeah, this is what it should have been again in game 1. But the Avnis is what cost it in the game.
No, exactly, because now once again he's going for the Avnis.
Gonna use an Ash Blossom just to shut him down. But this will be an interesting pick, because Kelbeck has been used. He's reading the card, and then he will target the Michaelis to special summon and bounce it back to the actual deck. So staying in this and playing it pretty well from Ruben, which is why I'm worried about the Red Lotus. I really don't like it, if I have to be honest. I don't like it in a deck like this.
Why?
Because I feel like, first of all, as mentioned, you have to draw the trust, and it means it has to be better than any other spell or trap. And I think there are much better ones. So, I don't know. Even after siding, of course, you all know that my one of my favorite cards is Sanctum, an artifact site, and unfortunately with the next Forbidden Limited list, artifact site is saying goodbye.
Yeah.
So I really would like to see it in action one last time, at least for a while. But yeah, as you can see here, he gets an impermanence with the Frost. And this is a little underwhelming, if I have to be honest. Still good enough, most likely, to win this game. But if it would have been any other card, I think this would not be even close. But yeah, now we get to see the Rhino art plus the Scream.
Well, the Scream being drawn by Ruben is not bad, honestly. Here, would you go for the impermanence?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And the mills are okay. I guess the Rhino art is good enough. Considering he already had a lot of names in the end, he could honestly get this to work. But okay,
there's another return.
Yeah, he's there, and yeah, this will be too much to handle from Ruben, who we know is holding a couple of Abnis in his hand. He's gonna take a look at it, but yeah.
Yeah, with another returning being activated, honestly, it gets very, very difficult for Ruben to come back into this one.
Absolutely does, and as you can see here, the one and only target gets banished. And unfortunately, he has to pass back to his opponent, who really needs to speed things up because he's giving Ruben too much time. And yeah, he just apparently swings over, and that's it. Not much from João, who will activate in main phase 2. The packs, which is weird that you would activate it in Memphis 2, right? Why? I guess for Abnis, but like even the Scream is there, which I think they are forgetting about. I think Ruben has completely forgot about the Scream.
I think so, right?
Yeah,
because. Oh,
we unfortunately had Joshua Smith also forgetting about it in the top 4 and losing because of it. So sometimes, you know, if even a player of that caliber does forget about it, it doesn't surprise me that Ruben also does. But I mean, he gets rewarded by eating this Agido.
Yeah, and also I think that I mean, I don't really get why the Pax was not activated before, right?
Let's see.
Still, now he goes with the Magnifica effect. Michaelis comes on top, and they get to mill 5 cards.
Yeah, this honestly, it's basically turning the other way around. I don't know how. I blame the Lotus. I blame the Lotus. I do blame it. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I'll be straight up. I'm not a fan of the Lotus. I think I really don't like it. Just I think there are much better options all around. Like you can pick any normal spell or trap in the game, in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, but I think also like with the.
Don't get me wrong. It's a good
no, I mean,
card.
it's okay. I think it's okay.
I think it's better than another deck. That's what I'm saying. It's a good
idea. But because you cannot seal the game in one turn, that's the point.
Yeah.
No?
Like, I really like the idea of it. I feel like it's broken if you play a different deck, because essentially it's like it's back at 4 copies of the Red Lotus for most decks. But is this really the deck for it? That's where I'm getting skeptic. But regardless, we see now a bunch of cards getting sent from the top of the deck of both players. Twin Twister among them. I have to say Ruben is one of the few duelists with Twin Twister in the deck at the moment.
Yeah, because we saw that many of our players this weekend just wanted to rely on having cards for the mirror match, for example, or against Kashtira. So they don't really have cards such as Twin Twister or Lightning Storm, which in some cases might be very helpful. Still, I think talking about the decision of João about playing the appointer, he would also have been considering playing Dimensional Barrier, which I think is a good card in this deck.
For sure. Barrier is really, really strong. It has applications against the other decks in the format as well, such as the Kashtira, as though it's not amazing. You can use it against a lot of different decks this format. And now, again, it's back to square one.
Yeah, because basically João has been effectively preventing Ruben from...
Back to square one it is when we go back to this Magnifica. And yeah, here, as mentioned, we go to the exact same situation we were, and it's looking actually not that horrible for Ruben, I gotta say.
Because there have been several times in which we thought that João had killed this game, because, with double Returnia being activated and preventing Ruben, from fusion summoning. And now, with this Scream being drawn by Ruben, maybe... Let's see if he can come back into this one. It's a very close one, actually.
Yeah. He's gonna go and use it to banish the Scream and then switch out the Michaelis for the Magnifica. Very long game, but in the end, after a well thought out game 2, it is finally João who takes it, and we are going to game 3. What a grind, what a match it has been. Game 2, we see a similar opening by João, but this time the talent is not in the end. It was the 6th card, but it gets milled by Avnis, which whiffs completely. To be fair, quite an unfortunate end by Ruben, opening 3 Avnis and missing out on the mills. It pretty much turned this end to an unplayable stuff. Still well played, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Kudos to him for staying in it. He tried his best, and to be fair, at some point it looked as if he could come back into the game.
Yeah, especially because we saw that João interrupted him a couple of times with the Returnia, but then after a while we thought that he might have been, still in the game and, try his best.
Yeah.
Still, I think it was a very close one.
Absolutely, but it's always scary when you give your opponent time. Sometimes that's not a good thing. Sometimes you can get punished for it, and this time it worked out for João. I still think he made his life a little too complicated for what this game could have been. It could have been over in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
But regardless, we are going to game 3. So now, what do you think Ruben is gonna do with this side deck?
Yeah, I think he needs to change a couple of things. Maybe the Tearlaments Crime will go in by going first, and then why not? He could also sign in if he really feels like the triple tactic thrust, because basically Exosister is playing, Ash Blossom, Dimension Shifter.
Yeah, it's the difference between talent. Sometimes the opponent will activate Shifter in the draw phase, but Thrust can still be activated, so I think it's definitely wise to side it in.
Yeah.
João instead has a different approach to the deck. One card that we have been talking a lot throughout the past. It's Ultimate Slayer. I gotta say, it hasn't been the best card.
It hasn't been always the popular, even though we are a fan of it, honestly. I think also in Exosister will the Kiss Kill, I think it's very powerful.
Absolutely.
I really like it, honestly, and we might be seeing for sure that in action, considering João is going second. So.
Absolutely, and sending the NTs, you can get a +1 right away. So looking forward to it. Regardless, one of these guys will advance with a 5-0 record. The other one falling a step behind. Our duelists are ready. Let's find out the winner of round 5. And here they are, so Ruben most likely going first. And just gonna try his best, as you mentioned, siding that crime. Ooh. But I see the scatter shot, interesting. Scatter shot when there are 17 minutes left. A man is over-prepared right now. It is a level 2 extender,
Yeah.
as some might say.
Yeah, you can go for a sprint.
Yeah, we have been playing some speed duel this weekend, and there is one volcanic deck. So we know how powerful these volcanic cards can be. Apparently, Ruben is a fan too.
But maybe, I don't know, maybe it was scary that the game would have taken too much time, but there's still plenty of time, honestly.
Yeah, sometimes, as mentioned, ooh,
oh,
but the shifter comes down. Oh my god, the one Herald. What a punish it is. Yeah, this is heartbreaking.
There's the Herald of the orange light being activating on the shifter. Wow.
This is so much when you finally get to the shifter, the one copy of the limited Herald of the orange light. Oh my god. Yeah, this is painful to see so much advantage going on from Ruben. What a shame.
Wow, and now here he gets out of control, honestly. Because basically after shutting down the mentioned shifter and yeah, he started things off very well, honestly. Terraforming plus the orange light. You know, you can't ask for better.
Yeah. You of course even dealt 500 because of the scatter shot, which, to be fair, funny enough, was part of the combo because he needed a monster for Shireen. So now the impermanence comes down, but this means that your opponent is on 3 cards, which I think is something you are happy about if you're Ruben. Because of course all these cards being sent to the graveyard only make Ruben happy. They don't really injure anything from him, while his opponent really has a tough time coming back. As we can see, he does have a few tools for going second, like Evenly Matched and Dark Ruler no more. But this, it's definitely not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, especially because he lost some resources while all these cards being milled. We saw a Dark Ruler being milled. And here, let's see if Ruben manages somehow to get on the field the Elf, plus the Root Colossus, for example, of Beatrice. Let's see how far ahead he can go into his combo.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, impermanence of Kid Kalos can be really strong, but usually it is when that's the only play you have.
Yeah.
So if you can shut down the entirety of the combo, sure, but when they have already milled so much, it gets significantly worse. Yeah, this is exactly what we are witnessing right here. Now we get to see again Tearlaments Kashtira, great card, great addition to the deck. For multiple reasons. One of them, which sometimes happens, is that you mill the Saliek during your opponent's turn. You have one more interruption that you can search. So it's really a strong card in the deck. The shifter is pretty much thrown by his opponents, and what a interesting play here by recognizing that the shifter is a level 6. I don't think we have seen that much often yet, but great recognition by Ruben.
Yeah, I really like it, honestly.
Yeah, well played by him. Really smooth with his deck. Picking up a card for the Garuda. And then committing to a fusion summon, might go for the Kaleido.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Kaleido Heart coming down. What a board.
I think it's a very impressive thing that we're seeing from Ruben, honestly. It's just great stuff from him. And I mean, the Herald of Orange Light is changing this game entirely, we have to say.
Yeah. I mean, it's limited for a reason.
Yeah.
We saw it at YCS Dortmund, how impactful it can be, especially in the finals, and exactly on Shifter against Flowanderis in the old Italian final between Vincenzo and Mario. And here you gotta feel a little bad for João when he gets met by the one copy of the Herald, and not only just the one copy of the Herald, the 6 good cards you play alongside it, and he's also playing just 2 Agido, so there were 5 cards.
And now João goes with the Cosmic Cyclone on Ruben's set card, and anyway, I think very impressive fill from Ruben. We really like the play on Dark and the Dimension Shifter being summoned. And okay, the Cosmic Cyclone resolves. Let's see if João can somehow manages. Okay, he goes for the Martha. Okay, I think here we are seeing a Tearlaments Kashtira being activating from Ruben's side.
Yep, gonna try his best, can't blame him. You have an engine which can potentially fight back this, because as you know, every card does something, and
Wow.
we get 3 names, but this is not obvious, because if you do use them, then your opponent gets to activate the additional effects of the Exosisters. But regardless,
Yeah, I mean,
what are these mills? And yeah, it seems like he will shuffle it back with the Collide Ward. And so now the pressure is on João.
yeah, definitely. Okay, he has the
Okay.
Stella.
He does have a Stella. 1, 2, 3. And now he goes for an XYZ again. Most likely on my stroke. Or the next sister Michaelis. I think it's pretty much on the same power level. But let's see. Yeah, L'Estinto. Oh yeah, the L'Estinto would be amazing. Exit on 9. Yeah. But instead, it is, as expected, the Michaelis.
L'Estinto would have been really good.
L'Estinto. Bedeppi. Michaelis comes down. Okay, interesting. We get to see the field spell being activated, I guess. Or okay, no, it just activates 1. Yeah, they are 1 by 1. You should first target the first 3, wait for your opponent to activate a response, and then if you can chain the second one. So this is what's going on here. We'll activate the second one afterwards, and we'll probably use the Pearly Rhino right away. Fantastic card, of course. Yeah. So great stuff, honestly, once again by Ruben, who recognized his play. Woof. And yeah, oh my god, these mills are amazing. But to be fair, he set this up really well. He shuffled back the Kelbeck so that he could send it with the Beatrice, and then he hit the Agido and the Scream. So great, great stuff by Ruben. Let's see what he does. So he's gonna get to add the Salik to his hand from the Scream, and then most likely gonna make both milled 5. And as he already activated both, it means that 20 cards are in the graveyard from both players, which for Tearlaments is a good thing, but playing with 20 less cards for Exosister is complicated.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the handshake.
He has seen enough, so well played by both. A smile coming down as Ruben advances and wins round 5. What a match it has been, honestly. Both of these guys giving them their best to be the winner of round 5 and advancing with a 5-0 record. Once again, as mentioned, one of the highlights of this weekend, trying to find a way to beat the Tearlaments deck. For João, this was the Exosister, a solution that has been working out throughout the past months, but has always been not the most popular. Flow Wonder is probably on top of the list of these EXO trying to combat just Tearlaments. But nonetheless, he gave out quite the hell of a fight. I gotta say, luck was not on either of these players, because in game 1, the 2 copies of talent were the only way that he could have lost the game, and unfortunately for him, Ruben picked one of those up. Then game 2 is the opposite. It is Ruben who gets unlucky with a full Monster Hand. Free Avnis whips completely on the first, and this is pretty much game over. Although it took a while to get there.
Yeah, it took a while because we thought that Ruben actually could have done it, but in the end it was on your outside, and we have to say in game 3, honestly, Ruben played very well.
Yeah. Ruben played it well. He had a strong hand, to be fair, to pair it with, and the highlight has to be the Herald on the shift.
The Herald on the shifter, honestly, was...
too much. Too much. Honestly, when we saw the shifter, we thought, okay, this is close. This might be actually João's, because we were skeptic as soon as we saw that even with more than 10 minutes remaining, I think it was 15 or something like this, Ruben sided scatter shot in the deck, and he opened with it, which could have been awful. But Herald plus Kelbeck on a shifter. By the way, it could be similar to game 2, where if his opponent didn't have the shifter, maybe it wouldn't have been as awful. But I mean, life is not about if, and this is what we have witnessed. And no matter what, I want to give a shout out to both of these guys. They really played well. It's not a joke to be 4-0, and now for Ruben, it's definitely even less of a joke to be undefeated walking into round 6. Just as a reminder, though, we have 4 rounds remaining to close day 1. The next one, it won't be on us, it won't be on our lovely German co-hosts, and we'll see you guys later on in round 7. But before we do, we have our winner ready with head for the winner interview. So thank you guys, and let's hear it from them.
Thank you, Marcello. I'm here with Ruben, who's just won round 5. Congratulations. You were just telling me before we came on camera that you're exhausted by this point. How are you feeling?
Really tired. I've been awake since yesterday, right before the venue opened. So it's been a long day and a half.
Why haven't you slept?
Gotta play Yu-Gi-Oh!
That's a great answer. That's a perfect answer. So congratulations. You've obviously just won that round against the Exosister deck. Are you confident going up against Exosister with Tear?
I've played it a couple times before. It's weird since the Exosister deck kind of left the format for a little bit. I had to reread some of his cards just to make sure I didn't play into any of their additional effects. Waiting to use Hoffness when he XYZ summons instead of when he has the Exosister main deck monster I think is really important. Game 2, I drew all 3 of them, so I was just really behind the whole game. But besides that, I think I played pretty well into his board.
I'd say so. So let's go through some of the plays per game. So game 1, you know, João set up a really good Exosister board, but the triple tactics talent made it easier for you to turn it back into your favor, and then Garura from you took it in that. So at that point, are you feeling confident? Are you sort of getting into the spin of things at that point?
I'm happy I won going second versus a deck that can shifter you and kind of is supposed to be an anti-meta deck. So it's really important to steal a win when you lose the die roll in that matchup.
Absolutely. And then game 2, it felt like it wasn't totally in your favor. Some of the mills, you only saw like one of the named cards, and then he would negate that immediately on a couple of them. So you couldn't quite get the steam going in that. So during moments like that, how are you remaining composed? Like, what do you do to like stay calm?
Well, the game's not over. I still had life points. He didn't have that many cards. It was just his XYZ monster, and he's playing around the Hoffnesses in my hand. So we're in a very simplified game state. It's just whoever draws better off the top at that point, and he was able to get me in that game.
But then game 3, you actually had a lot of amazing moments. There was the dimension shifter that you negated with the one-off, with Herald of Orange Light, right from the get-go.
The reason is there. Shout out to Kamal for telling me to put that in my deck at 41 cards. Yeah, I didn't want to play 41 cards, but I'm playing 41, and that card has come up 3 times today, and it has won me the game every time.
Wow, the one-off has come up 3 times, and once on the feature match to basically put you right into the speed of things. Because then there were a lot of moments you were trying to have to be careful, because the Exosister things, there's a lot of summoning the Xyz the second that the opponent moves something from the grave, which obviously Tears are doing a lot. And then by the end, just João had no more resources. The Magnifica wasn't going to cut it, and so he just sort of decided that you definitely won that game. and then you won the whole match. So what was going through your mind in round 3 there?
So game 3, I kind of put myself in a position where he shifted me and imper me, so he's playing with 4 cards. Getting access to the counter trap makes him play with 3 cards, and the way I had set up my hand, I'm able to mill my my Tearlament cards on his turn and able to fusion summon 3 more times. And when you summon 6 times before you get a second turn back, you should be pretty far ahead of your opponent to the point they scoop.
Absolutely, and you've taken the win on that feature match, so congratulations. So I hope the rest of it goes well for you. Are there any decks that you're a bit anxious about going up against with your current deck?
Christopher LeBlanc's build, that's 2 cards off.
Well, fair enough. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen, but we'll see. Congratulations again. Don't go anywhere, guys, because we've got more content coming for you as we wait for round 6 to come very soon. We'll see you very shortly.